Hey, everyone. What is up? Happy Saturday. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Princess Megan Elsa. Hey, Grandma Sherry, Linda. Hey, Jess. My head is itchy. What y'all been up to? Well, I know. Isn't the rock and roll so fun in the beginning? I really wanted to go live yesterday, but I was so comfy and I need like an Idaho break. Hey, True Texton, how you doing? Hey, Glenjamin. I'm thinking about I know I've been telling Risk over and over again. Oh, Jeremiah, did I say hi to you? Hi, Jeremiah. That you had to sing at a funeral. You sing? Well, that's sad under the circumstances, but it's nice that you sing. Hey, Thumpta. Yeah, I needed like a little, Idaho break, and I feel like I still do. So maybe this week I'm gonna try doing like the Springfield 3 for Risk, like I've been promising him, or something, just to switch it up a little bit to get like a new story just to talk about, do something else, because my brain is just overdone with Idaho stuff. Not that I mind, but. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, Jeremiah. You're right. You did tell me about that. I'll have to check them out again, because it was a while ago when I watched them. Ooh, my foot is itchy. Yeah, so I don't even know where to start. Have you guys heard about this audio that released? What do you guys think? Do you think it's legit? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, there's not really that says to me like, oh, this is legit. You know what I mean? But if it was, well, also, it doesn't sound like how they describe it in the affidavit either. I mean, we can listen to it and you can see, but like the sound of it doesn't really fit with how the affidavit says that it sounds like. Yeah, I think it's fake too. Hey, Gen X. Hey, Pecan. I think it's fake too, but I mean, we can take a listen to it for the hell of it, just so you guys can hear it. And yeah, and then we'll talk about 50 to 50 odds. You think True Texting, and we can talk about. We'll go over some of the interviews and talk about my thoughts on like my theory. I guess we'll go into that first. What is it like? Let me know what your theories are as to what you think went down and like what order. Like, I think from the sound of it, from what they're saying, that he I have to pull it up and look at every little thing. Hold on a second. But I think he got there like a little. Risk, there you are. I was just saying that this week I'm going to try and do the Springfield 3 because I'm a little Idaho'd out, and maybe we can like, switch it up a little bit and give us a different case to talk about. You know what I mean? Just switch things up. I know I keep saying it and not doing it because things keep happening, and then I keep covering what happens instead of doing it, so I need to get on it. But I really want to cover that because it's a very interesting case. So I definitely want to cover that. I'm going to pull up the thing right now. But I think he got there a little bit early, and he was parked somewhere waiting and seen the DoorDash guy come. So he waited till the DoorDash guy left and then went up himself. I think he went right upstairs. And, you know, at first I thought, yeah, likely someone on 4Channel. Wouldn't surprise me, Risk. Wouldn't surprise me. I'll play it so you can hear it. But I mean, it doesn't really line up with what they said in the affidavit, so I think it's fake too. But so I think that he the like button is a hot rock for me. I think at first I thought maybe he ran straight upstairs because Maddie or Kaylee were his target. But now, yeah, he could have been in the empty room. But the thing is, Jess, they said that he was driving around outside till like right up until he went inside. Like he made like a 3-point turn and turned around. He did all that like moving first. So I don't think he was in there. I think he waited until that guy left and went in. But I think maybe he went right upstairs first because he realized that Xana was awake, and he panicked and ran upstairs because, you know, if she didn't see him, he'd have a little bit, you know, more time, I guess, or like before he'd have to, what do you call? Hey, Jenny Joe. All right, sounds good. Like before you have to confront somebody. So if you're trying to be like sneaky and stealthy, you want to be as stealthy as long as you like. You don't want to. All right, like you know when you're in a video game, you're playing a video game, and you want to stealthy take out a few of the bad guys before you just go balls to the wall and shooting all over the place. So, I was thinking maybe he knew that she was, awake, and you know freaked out a little bit, and ran upstairs to do that first so that he didn't have to. Ooh, a cup of noodles. That sounds really good, actually. I love them soups. I could eat like a million of them a day. I love ramen. Ramen's so good. There's this special brand of ramen. I forget what it's called. I have to look it up, but it's so good. It's like it's more not like an Americanized one. It's more Japanese. I can't remember the name, but it's not as like soupy, I guess it comes out. I can't remember what it's called, but they have a really good spicy one too. I'm going to think of the name and then I'm going to tell you. But I think maybe it's possible that he ran upstairs first because he didn't want to confront somebody yet. You know what I mean? Like, let me kill them before I have to like confront somebody. Yeah, he had to know somebody was awake. I think maybe the food delivery guy spooked him, but he had already like decided that he was going in and was just like, you know, I'm doing it. But I think he went upstairs. Okay, so this is exactly what where's that 3? Let me get that 3D. Somebody sent me that 3D thing the other day and I know where I got it. Okay, hold on a second. We'll look at the 3D thing in the house too. Oh, and I also want to talk about Papa Roger, that guy. I found a whole compilation of his posts, and a lot of people are saying that they believe that he may be the killer. So maybe we can, you know, I have the posts we can go through and see what we think. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to do that. I think that's an interesting angle to check out, see how many things line up. Here's the virtual tour. All right, so let me pull this up. Oh, thanks, Grandma Sherry. Hey, Nanny C. It's me, Jay. Beers. Oh, I want some beers. I actually have wine. I was thinking about getting a glass before I came on, but I'd be getting drunk way too fast because I'm a lightweight. Maybe I'll ask Dave to bring me a glass of wine. All right, so. Hold on a second. I'm going to text him and tell him to bring me some wine because it's Saturday night. Why not? Wine not. I crack myself. Okay. Yeah, get some wine. Yeah, it's Saturday. Why not? All right, so I think this is a virtual tour. So here's the kitchen. How do I go? Oh, okay, there we go. So I think Xana went and got her food. There was like a table over here. I think it might have been over here on a table or something where it was found. I think she got her food, went in the room. Oh. She got her food, went in the room, started eating, and maybe came back out. Maybe risk. I didn't think about that. Yes, why not? And I think she went in the room and then he came in and ran right up these steps here. Wait, hold on a second. So, see, this is what I'm confused about too. All right, so this is Kaylee's room, right? But we know that Kaylee was moved out, right? But I wonder if Maddie moved to her room because I believe when you look at the photos from the investigators being there, it looked like they spent a lot of time in this room, like taking pictures and things like that. So it makes me wonder. This doesn't look like the exact layout of her room, though. I think these were flipped from what it looked like, but I don't know. Oh, here. I can type up a link. Hold on. It gets weird sometimes. Like, I made a Nightbot link for it, but /joy. There we go. Okay. But it makes me wonder if maybe after Kaylee moved out, that maybe Maddie moved in here. And that's why, like, because if you see all the pictures, they're in this room a lot. So I'm thinking maybe this was the actual room, and maybe Maddie moved into this room because it had all right, if your friend moved out and she had the nicer room, like, look at the difference between the rooms. Let me just show you real quick. This one doesn't have a deck. It's pretty small. So if my friend moved out, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going in the other room, you know? So I'm thinking maybe she could have switched rooms and they were in that room. But anyway, I think he came straight up, possibly into, or, straight up went to come in the room, and the dog got up and he panicked and he grabbed the dog. And do we know if the dog was in the bathroom or the bedroom? Thank you. Sliding glass doors the whole time. Oh, you think he came through the window? Maybe. Yeah, well, her stuff was in the window, but that's like a decoration, you know what I mean? Like, that was her window. That was her window decoration. Like, if I was just moving rooms real quick, I don't know if I would think to get my window decorations, but I just know that there was a lot of investigators. Like, there was 10 people in Kaylee's room in all the suits taking pictures and stuff and looking down at the floor. They were all in here. You could see them through the window. So I don't know. But whatever room they were in, sorry, I didn't mean to go in the bathroom. The dog was in the other one. So either this one or Kaylee's room. But I think he went upstairs. The dog started jumping all over him. Thank you, Jeremiah. And I think he locked him in the room. And that's when Dylan heard someone playing with the dog. I think she thought it was Kaylee playing with the dog, but really it was the killer trying to get him in a room. Hey, Lori. And then I think while he was up here, Xana heard commotion. Hold on a minute. Okay, so this is Dylan's room. I think while he was up there, Xana was awake and heard commotion. And I think she tried to wake up. Oh, they even put the shoe print. Oh, wait, so this is Dylan's room, the shoe print. Wow, whoever made this is awesome. Okay, here we go. I think, all right, so here's Xana's room. I think she ran in. High heels in the air. Heels in the air in here. Oh, high heels in the air. Heels in the air be cracking me up. I love her videos. I was dying. I played the one where you talked about JLR and the wrong car. Oh, it had me in tears laughing so hard. Anyway, I think she tried to wake up Ethan and was like, hey, someone's in the house. Someone's in the house. And that's why Dylan heard her say, well, didn't she originally think it was Kaylee who said, yeah, she thought Kaylee said someone's in the house. I don't think it was Kaylee. I think it was Xana trying to wake up Ethan in a panic. I know if I was awake and I heard noise, the first thing I'm doing is going to go try and wake up hubby and be like, hey, this is getting out of hand. I'm scared. Somebody's in the house. Wake up. Yeah, Roy. She heard a lot of stuff, yeah. So I think the thump was, I think she said someone's in the house. And then I think she got up to go look. And he was already coming down. Or either no, because she was in the hallway area, right? She was here. And he was already coming down, possibly came in around her and got Ethan first, or her. I don't know, but I think the thump was her falling on the floor that they caught on camera. I think he stabbed her and she fell on the floor, or hit her or whatever. Hey, prayer partner Eve. Did I miss anyone? Sometimes the chat be going. I said hi to Lori, right? Hi, Lori. Again, if I didn't. So yeah. Hey, Kristen. Welcome to the shit show. Love that. Yeah, I think that was the heavy thump. I think her falling was the heavy thump. Maybe Ethan didn't even get a chance to really like get up because she had just, I think she was like, hey, someone's in the house, and then she got up to look and he came in, bam, bam, you know what I mean? And I think she was on the floor because from the sounds of it, he said as he was approaching the room, he could see Xana like, hold on, let me find it so I can, go over, show you where it says it. But it sounded, that's, I don't know for sure if she was on the floor, but that's like what I got out of it, if that makes sense. Like what I got out of reading it is that she was on the floor in the hallway. I'm gonna pull it up real quick just to be sure, but where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Okay. He directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. So she had to be, somewhere in the doorway area, in my opinion, for him to walk up and see that. So yes, she was on the floor according to the investigator. Hey, Stormy Skies. Oh, that's a good point, Stormy. Maybe Xana ran all the way down to the basement. That's a great point. Oh my gosh. Maybe she ran down to the basement, right? Gets her food at the bottom door. I mean, that would be pretty risky, though, for that guy to run in as she's getting DoorDash, Like, what if the guy saw him? But that's definitely possible. And then he runs upstairs. She comes in the kitchen. She's, getting her food and she hears noise. So then she runs in the bedroom. She's like, Ethan, wake up. Someone's in the house, or just someone's in the house. And then she walks to the doorway to peek, to go look, and the guy's already headed down there. But to me, I think this timeline is so tight. I feel like he knew where her bedroom was and where they were, and he went straight there, which leads me to believe that I've always thought this, that there's a connection with the Mad Greek. I think maybe, and if you look up best vegan restaurants in Idaho, the Mad Greek comes as like in Moscow, Idaho, Mad Greek pops right up. So I'm thinking maybe he possibly met them through the Mad Greek at work, which would line up with him going. He would go to that bar and PA. Remember they said he would ask the employees weird questions. Seven Sirens Bar, I think it was called. And he would say to the employees, who are you with? Where do you live? Things like that. Like really uncomfortable questions that you shouldn't be asking someone. And yes, heels in the air. The coroner saying they were all killed in their sleep was definitely not correct, because Xana got her DoorDash order at like 4 a.m. And then right after that, he was out of there by 4. All right, so the thud on the ground was at 4:17, and I believe they seen him driving away like right after that. So like he was out of there. He was in there for less than 20 minutes. So it's a very, very tight timeline. I don't think, in my opinion, I can't see any of these victims having like 20 stab wounds or anything. I think maybe like bam bam 2 or 3 or 4. One, because it would be extremely tiring, and 2, it was very quick, everything in and out, boom boom boom. So I just don't think there would be a good time frame for that, you know. Yeah. An affidavit is just what's necessary to get the judge to, go off on warrants. So there's definitely more to the story, but it does give a decent picture. But yeah, he had complaints against him at this bar in PA where he would bother the employees. So maybe he was going to the Mad Greek and bothering them, and following them. And I would love to know the time that they got off of work, because if they got off at like night or whatever, then it would line up with him going there late at night and watching them, or early in the morning. Maybe he followed them home from work, things like that. So, but we know he was watching them for a while. Yeah. Yes, heels in the air. I agree with that. He knew where to stab them, and it was like wham, 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 in my opinion. I think that, I think it had to do with work, and we know he was watching them for a while. He was at their air, like around there. The tower was picking him up around that area a lot, late in the evening, early in the morning hours. So he was watching them. I'm sure if he was watching them, he knew the layout of the home, everything. Because if we're looking up the house on Zillow and he's a criminology student, I'm sure he's studying, he studied the house, and he knew the layout, and he knew their patterns. I don't think he planned for Ethan to be there. But I think Maddie and Xana were his targets. I do. Yeah, so, and that, all right, so there's a rumor. I forget where that came from. I know. So, I think it was like a friend of a friend. There's several degrees of separation of Annie Elise from 10 to Life, and she said that the one girl had like 54 stab wounds, and her face was so badly beaten in. There was, her face was really like mutilated. Excuse me, sorry, trigger warning, I should have said that first. But I don't believe that. I don't think he had time for that, and I think he would have been too tired. And we know that whoever gave her that information was wrong about, they were right about the knife sheath being left behind, but they were wrong about where it was. So, yeah. Thank you, Princess Megan Elsa. So it's not confirmed by police in that. It was just, a friend of a friend said, like, her friend's ex-roommate's boyfriend was like an FBI agent or something, and supposedly working on the case. So there's several degrees of separation. We don't know if it's true. It's just a rumor, but I just can't see that. Yeah, I would wonder if he had contact with BTK too, because there's definitely a lot of there's a lot of similarities with Bundy, really. Bundy went to school out there. You're welcome, Annette. Bundy went to school out there. He studied psychology. He killed sorority girls. There's a lot of similarities, is what I'll say, with Bundy. A lot. Yeah, exactly, Pecan. People were speculating about the knife sheath being left behind for a long time, so it really isn't like, oh my gosh, she was right about that, because that was just something that was floating around for a long time. So it could have came from a Facebook group for all we know. It's not like that was some. You did, Matt? What, in Washington? You a serial killer? Okay. Yeah, me neither, Pecan. I haven't really seen any of the leaks turned out to be like true. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, he definitely stalked before. He was watching them for months. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that this guy allegedly put a lot of effort into. I am sipping on a little bit of wine. Moscato. I think it's like pink Moscato or whatever the heck it's called. But yeah, he was stalking them for a while. And I think he was planning this for even longer. I mean, he put out that survey in February, I think it was. It was a long time ago, like way before he started going to school out there. So months of stalking them, definitely months of planning. He was definitely well versed in this stuff. But there's so many similarities to Bundy. It's very creepy almost. And it makes me wonder if he is like trying to copycat or like emulate serial killers. So, and I mean, we don't know if he had contact with BTK, but his professor wrote a book on BTK and did interview BTK and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, your PhD. Did you get your PhD yet, Matt? Or are you still working on it? Matthew, Matthew is my friend. He's our gaming friend. We play lots of video games with him and stuff. He's my hubby's friend too. And he's going to school to be a doctor for kids. Or I don't know if he got it already yet or not, but he's like a Dahmer and Psyche and a wannabe Bundy. Yeah, he also had victims in Colorado. Yeah, they traveled through Colorado driving home, and I'm pretty sure. Oh, an MD. Okay, and you're entering your third semester. Got it. I'm not completely sold on the stalking just yet. Going near the house. Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, we have to keep in mind that just being in that, like, the towers cover a pretty large area, so he could have just been, all right, Matt, have fun, guys. He could have just been around that area, but I definitely think it's possible he could have been stalking them for sure. TMC has an article where BTK responded and claims he did not speak with him. Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. He is Spice Boy wannabe. Brian reminds me more. Are you talking about Ed Gain, the 6'9"? Ed Gain, right? Ed Gain's the 6'9" guy, I think. I don't know what he reminds me of. I will say I was super shocked when they said it was that guy. I was like, I don't know. I was expecting something else. Not that. He's very just not what I was expecting. Hey, Ground Up Garage. Oh yeah, Bundy. Well, actually, Heels in the Air. Bundy did it. Bundy was super lucky, dude. Like, if you look back at a lot of Ed Kemper, that's what I meant. Ed Kemper. I knew it was an Ed. Ed Kemper, you're right. Well, if you go back and watch like documentaries about Bundy and stuff, he was super like lucky. He didn't do everything he was smart, but he made a lot of mistakes. and he got really freaking lucky. I'll say that a lot. But he was charming, and I'll tell you right now, if I was alive back then and Ted Bundy came up to me and asked me to help him get something out of his car, I would be dead, because I would. Because that guy, he was very charming, very likable, didn't seem like a creep at all. He would walk up to girls with a cast on and ask them to help him carry stuff. And then when they go to his car to, like, put the stuff in his car, he'd hit them over the head with the tire iron. And yes, he was massively lucky on many occasions. He was yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't think he was cute, but I'll say I would have been like, I would have not have thought that he was a creep at all, No, I don't think Bundy is cute at all. Let me just say that. But I will say that I think he was charming, and he was like, seemed like a nice guy, and he was like he didn't come off as like a killer. So I would have probably got hit over the head with a tire iron because I would have carried his stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, he got super lucky in a lot of right, stormy skies. But he got super lucky in a lot of instances. Like the one girl escaped from him and got away. Yeah, Ed Gain was very short. You're right. It was Ed Kemper. I knew it was an Ed. Bundy wouldn't park. Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Brian was really stupid. Like, dude. First off, why would you drive your own car to the crime scene? I mean, if everybody has a Ring camera nowadays, ride a bike in all black or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just so dumb. He did a lot of really dumb stuff, like, leaving the knife sheath behind with his DNA on it. He's just really, I don't know, not that smart. Yeah, I'd be dead. Yeah, he looks just like Bundy. I got a picture of them, like, next to each other, and my goodness, do they look alike. Yeah, I don't get the guy's decisions either. I think there were a lot of the stuff he did was super freaking dumb, but well, anyway, so after he kills Xana and Ethan, let me just finish this. He goes this way again and back out. The shoe print is here. And maybe he didn't see her, but I would think coming from this way, this is really annoying. Hold on. If he was coming from this way and her door opened like that and she was peeking out, that he probably would have seen her, though. You know what I mean? If the door opened the other way, then maybe not, but it opens inside. So I feel like I would be shocked if he didn't see her, is what I'm saying. Dylan, that is. And then he went out here, supposedly. But I'm shocked he didn't leave any shoe prints or anything out this way. But she saw him go out that way, so. DNA on his gas pedal. Yeah, I didn't think about that. They got, well, I'm sure he cleaned the shit out of his car, got it detailed, No, he walked right in front of, like, all right, so this is Dylan's room. He walked right past her this way. He walked through here. That's her room right here. She's seen him. There's a footprint right here of him going this way, and she watched him walk in the kitchen and out the door. Yeah. Well, I don't think, like, that there's. Thank you, Ryan, for joining. I mean, I can't really say anything because there isn't much information, but I feel like the way the cops worded it, I didn't like it, and it made me have questions. I don't blame her or anything. It's very possible she could have passed out or went into shock, but the way that they worded it, it made me have questions, and I can't lie and say that it didn't, because they use the word, and I'll show you right here. And I'm not at all victim blaming or saying that I think in any way she's involved. I'm saying the way that they wrote it was shitty and made me think that. Like not make me think that, but like made me question, why would they say this? You know what I mean? Like, why would they word it this way, is what I'm saying. And because they said something like, the one part, it was like, Dylan originally said, and it was like, why would they use the word originally? Did she change her story? You know. Yeah. It does seem odd, Ground Up Garage, but to be honest with you, I literally know nothing about shock and how that stuff works, so I can't particularly judge. It does seem like a long period of time for me. I don't know. Yeah, the whole thing is peculiar. Hey, Melissa Jade, but blood in his eyes? Whose eyes? Yeah, he could have been focused on the door and dazed for sure, heels in the air. Like maybe he didn't see it. Let me find the wording that I was talking about though. And then the other thing that was really like confusing to me too was they said, based on, all right, here we go. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents. Two of the interviews included Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Both Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides, and the roommates to the victims. Bethany Funk's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor, so she's in the basement. So I feel like she probably didn't even know what the hell was going on. Blood in his eyes? I didn't. No, I think he was maybe like maybe he could have blood in his eyes. I don't know how. I guess you could. Yeah, some people have walked up on me and say, "Oh my god, you scared me to death." You know what I mean? That like, but like, if she didn't know that something bad happened, that wouldn't put me in shock. But if she heard stuff, then that could put me in shock. You know what I'm saying? I have been so scared that I couldn't move, and it sucks. I have to wonder why he passed through her twice, seeing her face the second time and didn't kill her. Yeah, Grand Up Garage. That's why I think that Xana and Maddie were the targets. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she's involved, but I do think it's weird how they worded everything, and it made me like, huh, you know. All right, here we go. Dylan and Bethany both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the resident at approximately 4 a.m. Dylan said she originally, this is one of the things that confused me. Dylan said she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the south side of the second floor. Like, was that her original story that she slept through it all and then she changed it? Or was it just like a weird way that he worded it and saying like she originally fell asleep but woke up? You know what I mean? Yeah, there's no ski mask. It was more sounded like a COVID mask maybe, or just something that covers down here. I haven't seen the audio as confirmed. I haven't seen anyone say the audio was confirmed by Ellie. It was just shared by a TikTok. Well, yeah, so there is audio that came from the residence. And then somebody released audio saying it was leaked, but somebody could have just made that up. It might not even be real. So we don't know if that's the actual audio because some TikToker just released it and said, it was leaked, or if it was somebody making a fake audio. Now, we know people do this because that guy, Joseph Morris, on that channel made a fake scream and played it like it was them screaming. So people make fake audios for attention. I don't know. But it's not confirmed anywhere yet. So it says she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. She stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which I believe was probably the killer putting the dog away, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Gonsalves, which we believe it was probably Xana because she was awake, say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of the records obtained from a forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed that this could have been Kernodle, as their cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. So he killed her about 4:17 because that's where they heard the thud and she was alive then. So he comes down and right around 4:17 that happens, in my opinion. Dylan stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. She stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. She then heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Which I was thinking maybe it was the killer saying that so she wouldn't scream, like she's in the doorway and sees him and he's like, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," so she calms down. I have no idea, Nathan, why she waited so long to call the police. I am guessing that she was in some kind of shock. I have no idea. Yeah, it is crazy that she was awake when they came outside. It's not the actual audio. Okay, Melissa. Yeah, I haven't seen anything confirmed that it's the actual audio either. So it's just something someone released on TikTok. Hey, Kellyanne J. So she said it says she originally went to sleep. Dylan said she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. I don't know if that means if that's just the way he was wording it. Like earlier, she was in bed and got awake, or if he said that because she changed her story. I just thought it was a weird word to use, but it could just be the way he's describing it, and that she was awoken at 4 a.m. by someone sounding like Gonsalves playing with her dog, which I think was the killer moving the dog. And then she heard what she thought was Gonsalves saying, "There's someone here," but they believe that was Xana saying that. Finally, she looked out of her room again because she heard Kernodle crying. And then she heard a male voice say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And then so that's probably right about 4:17 a.m. when he's saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And then a security camera picks up distorted audio of what sounds like a cry. So she's probably crying in the doorway. And he says, "It's okay, I'm going to help you," because he knows she's going to scream. And then a loud thud, which I'm assuming is him stabbing her and her falling. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Kernodle's bedroom. You can also hear barking numerous times at 4:17. So, I mean, I would be shocked. I mean, that could have what put her into shock, like if she went into shock. But I would be shocked if she didn't hear that or some of that. Well, there was whimpering. I mean, I don't know. The whimpering might not have been that loud. So then she opened her door for a third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. So just here. She described him as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past her as she stood in a frozen shock phase, which she claimed she was in shock. So, the male walked towards the black sliding door, and she locked her door after seeing the male. So shut the door, lock the door. She did not say she recognized the male. This leads investigator to believe the murderer left the scene. The combination of her statements to law enforcement reviews. Okay, so this is another thing that bothers me. It says the combination of her statements and reviews of forensic downloads of records from Bethany and Dylan's phone and a video of the suspect and a video of a suspect videos described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25. So, like, what was in Dylan or Bethany's phone that helped them narrow it down? Like, that bothered me too. I don't know why. Like, why wouldn't he say Xana's phone? Like, from the forensic records of Xana's phone? Like, why Bethany and Dylan's phone? So that obviously I had questions for. I don't know why, like, what to make of that, but I think she was probably in shock and shut her door, and maybe she was hiding and fell asleep or something. I don't know. I would imagine you probably get, that could probably do something to your body to make you like really tired. So I don't think he was already upstairs ground up, because they have video of him driving around all the way up until like that point, making 3-point turns and doing a lot of moving around. So maybe when she saw him, she was in a different room. Well, it says her door, I think. Let me see. She opened her door for the third time, so I guess of her bedroom. So she was in her bedroom, and that's how she saw him go to the glass door, because it says she saw him walk towards the glass door. So she was here, and he walks past her, which they confirm by the shoe print being there. And then she watches him walk right to the glass door. So she definitely was here and watched him walk right by and out. You don't ever get into YouTube. Always be doing that. It never gives any notice. Yeah, I could see him wearing a COVID mask too. Okay, I will, Parker. I'll put you on speed dial. I'm just talking about the affidavit, and I'm just showing like the route of him in the 3D thing. This is a great map. Whoever did this, I love it. I think it was a COVID mask too. Yeah, if he never came in their house with a knife, they'd all be alive for sure. And I'm sure she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life, and be very, probably thinking, what if I would have done something, so I feel like that's enough for her, to have to deal with. Oh, the mattresses. I know. I seen that. You could see all the blood on the mattresses. Ugh. Yeah, it's an amazing map. This is a great map. Whoever did this, it's awesome. I mean, like, I ain't never seen anything like it. It looks like it's literally the house. Like, it's perfect. Hey, Sabrina, how are you? So, yeah, I think it's already, I think she probably froze up, and she'll probably regret that for the rest of her life. And it just sucks. I don't know anything about shock, so I can't really like comment on it. I've never been in shock. I don't know how it works. I don't know how long it lasts. You know what I mean? That's a good point, Devil. That she only described eyebrows, not hair. So maybe it was like one of those ones that like had all this open. You know what I mean? But like that's definitely a possibility. I can see that. I don't think there's. I mean, there's. You could see the mattresses. Hold up. That's about it. And there's always been photos of like them taking pictures of the crime scene. Brian Enton took. Well, no, they're not like in the. Hold on, I'll show you. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Oh, look, Damar Hamlin tweeting. Love is felt and extremely rare, real, no matter race and religion. Everybody coming together in prayer. How nice. That makes me happy. He's the guy who on the Bills who passed out in the field. Okay, so it's not a crime scene photo. It's them taking the mattresses out of the home. So they were packing them up. This isn't the picture though. You can see blood in the. This one's a little bit better. See how like there's big spots right here? There's like big, huge blood spots on this mattress, which this is Ethan and Xana's mattress, I'm pretty sure. And this, I can't see anything on this one, but this one you can see marks. But that's a good point, Devil. I didn't think of that. That maybe he did have one of those things on that have like the, like it's not like a ski mask, but like people wear it to like out in the snow and it covers your head. But this is all open right here. Like this part's open. It's like that. That could be what he was wearing. But I definitely think there's a connection through the Mad Greek. I really, what's it called? A balaclava? A balaclava. Is that how you say it? I wanted to say baklava. Yeah, that. That's probably what it was. Yeah, me too, Lori. I'm surprised too. All right. I'll play the audio for you guys. Like I said, I think it's fake. There's no, I haven't seen the monkey holding a baby monkey. I haven't seen anything suggesting that it's real or anybody verifying it, anything like that. Nothing. So I think it's fake. It doesn't even line up with what the affidavit says. I'm just going to play it for people who haven't heard it, but I don't believe it's real. No, I didn't want to do that. Chill. What name was it? Okay. All right, so she says the original audio was shared on TikTok. All right, so it was originally shared on TikTok as an example. This is what she's saying. As an example of what type of camera could potentially pick up audio from 50 feet away or whatever. But the source told me that it was in fact audio from that night, but the original poster was afraid to share. Up to you to decide if you hear relevant audio. I have not and would not edit any audio. So, okay, Parker. Supposedly, somebody posted it and said it was like a test thing. They didn't want to admit it was the real True Greenbeard said baklava is delicious, balaclava not so much, right? But it looks like that. That's what I want to say. You know what I mean? My phone is like not loading. Hold on, let me try this again. But so basically, the source, who is not the person that shared it, I don't think, told her that it's actually the real audio. So there's really no merit to it. There's no proof that it is. Oh, that one's even worse. Oh my gosh. Let me share this real quick before I move on. And I'm going to talk about Papa Roger, Parker, because I know you've been wanting to talk about that. All right, here's a picture that a little bit more clearly you can see. Look at that. Look at the dark. You can see the blood there. It's soaked. All that right there. It almost looks like in the shape of a person too. Look. You can see like a head. Huh. It's terrible. All right. Part. So you can hear a female laughing. All right. Let's just. It sounds like that, though, is something closer to the camera. Or, you know what I mean? Something closer to. It doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like a far away noise. Oh, yeah. I remember that, Sabrina. The audio was good from pretty far away. All right, hold on. It almost sounds like someone say, "Get the fuck out of here," or something like that. Like, hold on. Like, get the fuck out of here. And if you listen, I mean, it could just be a noise, but it almost sounds like something really faint said, "There's Brian." But somebody could have obviously made this after all the stuff came out, so. It sounded like a whistle. Like, phew. So, Paula, this came from, all right, somebody posted it on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, on TikTok, and said that this was originally posted somewhere, but it was titled, like, testing audio from 50 feet away. But then she found a source told her that the person didn't want to say it, but it was actually audio from that night. But I don't know that I believe it because it doesn't line up with how the police described it. Oh, yeah, maybe like a squeaky storm door. It doesn't line up with how the police described it. And, like, I think it's fake, but take what you want out of this. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's real, but I'm going to play it for you guys anyway because it's what's going around and everyone's talking about. Well, it could have been like before, maybe maybe it was Xana watching TikTok and laughing, you know what I mean, before she knew anyone was in the house. Because it sounds like it like a good minute before anything happens. So I don't know what the laughing is, or maybe the laughing could be coming from the house where the camera's on. So like the camera that caught all the audio was on the next door neighbor's house. So maybe there's, if it's real, but I don't think it is. Maybe they caught the audio of the people living at that house and the more faint audio is next door. Yeah, you can definitely you can hear people talking in my house from a Ring camera, right? Same. All right, hold on. Or maybe it's like some kind of interference. It sounds like that too, like mic interference. I don't know why he would say Z. Like, I guess maybe because her name's Xana, they would call her Z, even though her name was spelled with an X. I wonder if, like, her nickname was Z. I don't know, but, like, I mean, I could see that because it sounds like a Z, but her name's spelled with an X, so I don't. So maybe he said Z, like Z, or C, like C, like see, I told you someone's there. I don't know, but it sounds like someone saying C. That sounds like somebody yelling, "Get off! Get off! Get off!" Like, that's what I heard. It was 2022. They can identify it as a Z. Yeah, I don't think the police would release it either, but maybe the neighbor who owns the camera released it, you know. I doubt it's, like I said, I don't think it's real, but it's possible that, like, I suppose it's possible that the neighbor who owns the footage could have released it to the public, you know. But I don't think it's legit. I don't. Yeah, that first yelp was bad. It sounds like someone saying get off. But again, I don't. Oh, I'm sure, Sabrina. It's a college town. There's probably all rentals. I doubt there's a lot of non-rentals. You know what I mean? All right, let me keep playing. Oh, this is just showing, I guess. All right, there's a part 2 also, so let me get the part 2. The part 2 really doesn't have anything of significance. You can hear like a dog barking maybe, but Here's part 2. So supposedly it's a little enhanced. She enhanced some stuff. And she winds it back a few times. So if you keep hearing the same noise, it's because she's winding it back. All right. It sounds like someone right there saying inside or outside. They're saying like outside or inside. Listen. It's definitely inside. Something about outside or like go outside or get outside or something's outside. It says something about outside. I didn't hear that. Maybe get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I can hear that. That's a dog. There's definitely like a faint guy in the background. Yeah, it's useless either way now that it's, if it is real and that it's released, it will be useless because it, you know. Yeah, it could just be somebody's like audio pieced together over time. You know what I mean? It is weird. It would be useless because I believe a lot like stuff that gets released will usually be excluded from evidence. A lot of times they'll exclude it from evidence. But it would be considered like hearsay and no, if it would, it's not hearsay, sorry, it's not. It would be, I forget what they call it, but a lot of times when evidence is released and like gets out in the public and stuff, it ends up getting deemed useless. But they have the original audio, so it might not, because like a lot of times when it gets out, they could say it was edited and stuff like that. But if they have the original audio, they might be able to get away with it. But yeah, only if the jury hears it. Well, they might argue that, you know, since it's out in the public, you know what I'm saying, that since it's out in the public, that it like basically like taints a jury pool with it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I'm sure everyone's playing it. Like I said, I'm making a very big point to say I do not think this video audio is real at all. I am definitely not going to ever try and pass this off as real because I just don't think it's real. I don't think it lines up with what they said. I didn't hear a loud thud like they said in the thing. They said you hear whimpering, which you do kind of hear whimpering in this. Like it sounds like someone saying help him or something like that. But you don't hear a thud, which I feel like, that would be pretty prominent if they heard, like they said, so the camera had him driving away, like, right after. But I don't think any of the cameras that saw his car actually got his license plate. Like, I don't think they actually got a license plate from it. Because I didn't see anything in any of the, I didn't see anything in the affidavit saying, we compared his license plate or we found his license plate. So I just feel like maybe his license plate was skewed somehow. Yeah, I just wanted to show people because I know people are curious about it and it's going around, but I don't think it's real. And I'm not gonna, I know a lot of people are going live and be like, the audio from that night, this is it. Like, no. You can't just go and take some TikTok audio and tell everybody it's real. You know what I mean? Well, they said he wore gloves to this food store shopping and stuff like that. Maybe he had something covering. I don't know. Well, no, actually, Roy, because there was a break then. It was Thanksgiving break. It was literally done right before Thanksgiving break. So he wouldn't have seen his classmates for a few days. So that's a huge point to remember too. All right, let's talk about Papa Roger because I am curious about Papa Roger. Okay, so there's a big compilation of posts by Papa Roger. So yeah, that's not normal at all to wear gloves, latex gloves, food shopping. You know what I mean? It's weird, but I don't know. I guess if he is OCD and people get a little germaphobe type deal, maybe, but I don't know. I think it's weird though. Yeah, they saw him, but they didn't see him like the next day, I believe. Like, I don't think they saw him the next day. It would have been a couple days later. He was definitely there for like 2 weeks before he went home, but I think he at least had, a couple days because it was right before Thanksgiving break. Oh, my ears itchy. A lot of the kids were leaving school for Thanksgiving break. They were like, it was empty there. You wore gloves the first month of the pandemic before you realized it was BS. I didn't go that far, but I wore a mask. All right, so this says, I've never met, all right, Papa Roger, who people believe that maybe this is the killer under like a name in the groups. That's a good point, CM421. I have no idea. I haven't heard anyone compare it. No motive. Well, I think there's definitely a motive. The guy, well, not like a personal motive, but he seemed like maybe there was like a criminal like interested in criminal stuff type deal. Could have been. Hey, Cone Bond, am I saying that right? No connection, no weapon, no credible. Well, there's a connection. He had the same car and he lived in that area and his DNA was on the knife sheath found at the scene, Roy. There's definitely a connection. But it will definitely be a battle. I think it will definitely be an uphill battle for the prosecutor. I agree with that. I think a lot of it is circumstantial. They don't have a license plate to connect it with. They can just say he was in the area at the time. He wasn't stalking them. I agree with you there. But I hope that they have other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I hope there's other evidence we don't know about. They've collected 113 pieces of evidence, so maybe there's more that we don't know. The cell phone pings got him, but the cell phone pings cover like a pretty large area. So like he could have just been somewhere close in Idaho. You know what I'm saying? But it is a lot of circumstantial evidence that adds up. Yeah, the DNA on a knife sheath, yeah. I mean, I think it's reasonable to a jury. I think a jury will with the DNA. So Papa Roger, who people think is the killer undercover, says, "I've never met a good coroner who would make that determination prior to an autopsy." So maybe he meets coroners. I don't know, but he says he never met a good coroner. And then someone says, LOL, no. And he says, Papa Roger says to him, "You've never been to a crime scene." So I guess Papa Roger is now claiming he's been to a crime scene and that he knows coroners. And then Brett says, "Dude, a stab wound with a large wide knife is unmistakable and never mistaken as a gunshot wound." And then Papa Roger says, "Haha, okay." Or no, sorry. Brett says, "Haha, okay." And then Papa Roger says, "Not true. Once again, have you seen a wound from a hollow point? Stop. I am done with amateur." Oh yeah, I think I agree with you, Roy. I think they will find holes in a lot of their stuff if they don't have more evidence. I agree. I was kind of disappointed they didn't have his they had a car but they didn't have his license plate. Uh that they used pings, but pings can just be that you're in the area. It's very circumstantial besides the DNA. Well, all right. So what they did was they got DNA off the button from the sheath. Okay, like the clasp of the button, and then they built a profile with that, and then they honed in on him because of his car, and then they went to his parents' house and took something out of the trash which had his dad's DNA on it, and then they were able to narrow down his DNA through comparing to his dad's DNA. And that's how they got to that. Yeah, he can say he sold it to anyone in that house. Yeah, true. True. That's a good point. I mean, juries are really like give and take. A lot of times they come back with guilty verdicts where I'm shocked that they did. Like the George Wagner case, I personally thought he was guilty, but I thought there was a lot of reasonable doubt, and I was very shocked that he was found guilty on all counts. Things like that. I know people will disagree with this, but I thought there was really no good evidence against Barry Morphew, and they tore that case apart. And I am glad that he got off because I didn't feel like it was enough for me to be okay with them putting him away. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cases that are circumstantial, but if you create enough reasonable doubt in the mind of juries, sometimes it goes that way.
You want rid of my man?
Why wouldn't you want the witness to take? Why would you not let her take the stand, in your opinion? But yeah, I do think like his behavior, like his criminal type, and the survey and stuff like that will definitely raise eyebrows, But I do think it's a lot of circumstantial. I'll agree. What are you saying? What to? Heels in the air. Oh yeah, her testimony will be ripped apart. Ah, that's a good point. No, that makes sense. They'll probably try and rip her apart about, All right, so I've never seen anyone know anything about hollow points. Do hollow point wounds really look like stab wounds? Yeah, good question, Ground Up. I don't know. Mm-mm. I thought there was going to be more. Okay, the reason that I know Koberger was Papa Rogers is they had an eagle in their cover pic, which represents the Marine Corps globe emblem. He also had a military figure in the display picture, which weirdly resembled Koberger. Putting them both together, we can draw a link to the knife. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's him. It could be someone playing off it. Yeah, I know hollow points like explode, but I never like saw a wound, like a hollow point wound. Like I know what a hollow point does, but I never seen a hollow point wound to be able to be like, oh, that looks like a stab wound. You know what I mean? Um, his DNA being found in it, his last name. Hold on. Given his username was Papa, with his DNA being found and his last name being Rogers, which is a nod to Elliot Rogers. People are saying it's a nod to like that incel Elliot Rogers. People like love that guy. I don't know that he looks like him. I don't think he looks like him at all, to be honest. I think that looks like, besides the gaunt face, I don't really, or whatever that's called, I don't think they look alike at all. Oh no, defense attorneys aren't nice, and they will definitely tear that girl's testimony apart for sure. You're not lying about that they will. If they put her on the stand, they're going to ask her a million questions about that whole situation. That's just what defense attorneys do on cross-examination. Oh, I will check that out, Wilhelm Meister. Thank you. But they will definitely try and tear her apart on cross-exam. But I mean, I don't know that a jury will, find him innocent. I think there's a lot of stuff that like juries are really either way. You know what I mean? Like the OJ case, for instance. People really thought they had him nailed and they didn't, or Casey Anthony. And then there's people where you think they'll get off and they don't. So juries are very, very up in the air depending on who's on it. You know what I mean? But a defense attorney will absolutely try to tear her story up on cross-exam. That's just what defense attorneys do. Well, they'll try and tear her apart, as in, like, how can you say that was him by, it was dark, you could only see his eyebrows here, his eyebrows don't look bushy. I don't know if they'll really tear into uh like the 911 call and stuff. They might. I mean, a defense attorney will do what they have to do to you know put doubt in people's minds. Yeah, they'll do it gently, possibly. Yeah, they'll definitely do it though, to put doubt in people's minds, to say, like, how do you know it was this guy? And if you were, like, they will definitely. There's no doubt a defense attorney will do that. Yeah, they might not even need her if the evidence is strong. That's true. Heels in the air. They might not. No, she's not saying it's him. She's telling what she saw, but regardless, they're still going to try and put holes in her story. That's just what they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if she was intoxicated or drugs in her system, that too. Yeah, they might be able to call her, even if they probably can call her if the prosecution doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, she wouldn't really be able to identify him besides his height and his eyebrows. So, I mean, they probably won't even need her to go. If they have, I feel like they probably have more evidence because they collected 113 pieces of evidence. There might be something more. They don't have to put all that in the arrest warrant. They just need enough to get an arrest. So we'll find out if there's more very damning evidence or DNA evidence or whatever, which. Oh, thank you. I try and stay in the middle, try and stay reasonable. If it, I agree with everybody to a point. I agree that a defense attorney will probably do that, but I also don't agree that a jury won't buy that. I think a jury will. Well, a jury might, because juries are very just, sometimes they're very. You'll think one thing and they'll go with something else. And I do think there's a lot of things they can put together, but I also do think that there is some holes they will be able to argue unless they have more evidence. But so that's the research thing. All right, so Papa Roger says, why did the killer choose that house over all the others in the area? And it almost seems like it's a similar question to his, what do you call it? The research thing, the survey. That's it. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, no, she couldn't positively ID him, but I mean, they probably wouldn't really need to call her up, but the defense might be able to call her up themselves. So his questions, like, that is similar to what he wrote in the survey. And then, what do we think is the entrance point to the crime scene? Also, though, I mean, these are a lot of questions that I definitely think he's weird, for sure. But these are also a lot of questions that I would ask too in a true crime group. So, yay, Bob. Sounds good. Definitely enjoy a glass with me. Do we think the killer took anything from the house? That's a good question. You guys think that he took anything as like a memento? I think he was out of there too quick to take anything, but that's a good question. So, ground up, they had him. They had a white Elantra on camera. I'm using a cone to describe. All right. They had a white Elantra on camera come into the parking lot, like onto the street, then do like a 3-point turn around, park. Then a couple minutes go by. And then right after they hear that thud, and him walking right out past Dylan. Shortly after that, I think it's like 4:19 or 4:20 something, they see his car speeding past the neighbor's ring cam at a very high speed. Then they mapped out his whereabouts. Well, they found cameras all over and looked through all the cameras and have a white Elantra driving the route to his apartment home. So, like, he was driving the route from Idaho to his apartment home. And the car stopped right, like, the last camera they had was like a block away from where his apartment is in Washington. And he also drove, I think, to like something with a B, like BL, like Blaine, Idaho or something. And there's a national park there. So I'm thinking maybe he drove out there and dumped his stuff and then drove home. But they basically just have a white Elantra. They mapped out a white Elantra driving all over around the time frame, if that makes sense. Yeah, and they got his plate number from WSU campus, but they never confirmed if they had his plate number in the camera's home. You get what I'm saying? Like, they never said, okay, we got his plate number and we matched it to the videos of him driving home. So I don't know that they necessarily have his plate number on those videos, but the cop called the plates in, and that's how they started looking into his car, because they were looking at all white Elantras around there because they knew his car was a white Elantra, or they that was the only car around that area acting shady, making turns and hanging around and creeping around. You know what I mean? It just seemed like that was the car. So they looked for that car. They found people in the area with that car. He was one of them. And they started following through that. They found his DNA on the sheath, and then they went into his trash and got DNA from his dad and was able to compare it and tie the DNA. Or cell phone pings too, maybe. There's definitely they definitely tied in the cell phone pings as well. But I think the car really was a big, like, the car on camera was a big, they traced that back. Great recap. I'm trying. The wine's starting to get to me. I'm working on it, guys. I got it. All right. How long do we think the killer was in the house? Not long at all, but he does ask weird questions, but that's also questions that I might ask in the true crime community. Regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime, says Papa Roger. Well, we know that, his trash in PA. His parents live like, sounds like somebody's bouncing a basketball upstairs. If you hear that noise, I don't know what it is, but it sounds like somebody's literally bouncing a basketball. His parents' house is like 2 hours from me, maybe less than that, like an hour and 45 minutes. That is very thin. In that distance, there could be more than one white Elantra. It was in the, like, 5 a.m. though, ground up. Like, it was very early in the morning too, though. And it was, what was it? Was it on a Saturday? Let me look. It was on a Sunday morning at 5 a.m. So, there's not that many cars out at Sunday morning at 5 a.m. No, he was not at that bar, Luke. It's been confirmed that he was not at that bar. Regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime. I don't know that it was. There was no sexual, or essay. Oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't even be saying that, but all right, so a lot of people say that some people get like a rouse from a knife, like it's like a extension of them. So maybe, you know. And guys, if there's anyone new here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can come back and hang with us. And I have a Discord. If anyone's not in the Discord and wants to come in, we just talk cases and stuff in there sometimes, and you'll get updates of when I'm live and things like that. So cops knew the Elantra license plate and could obviously track any official change. Oh yeah, they definitely knew the license plate later on, but I don't think they had a license plate on camera that night. Like maybe he covered it or something. I don't know, but they might, but they never said we were able to verify it by his license plate. Yeah, same, ground up. I know you're not saying it's not him. It's just it creates reasonable doubt if they it can create reasonable doubt if you don't have his license plate to say, "Oh, hey, we've tied the license plate." They don't say that. They might though, so. And he put his cell phone in like airplane mode or whatever. They said that his cell phone lost service from like 2:49 a.m. till about almost 5 a.m. But then when he put it back on, he was driving home still. So they have a couple pings of his cell phone coming home. But he did turn it off right after he left his home. And so between like 2:49 and almost 5 a.m. his phone was out of service. So they can't connect his phone at that time. That's all we know so far. But yeah, just from what they've released so far, which there may be tons more evidence, they may be able to, create reasonable doubt with it. But I do think they have a lot more evidence than we know. And they may have just not been saying it. You know what I mean? Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. This evidence was released prior to autopsies. So he claimed, he says he thinks that the sheath was left behind, which I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this was him. He knew the sheath was there. A lot of people have been speculating that, but probability that I don't think that I think he did it for sure. I don't think there's a huge probability that he's innocent at all. I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that it seems pretty clear to me that he did it. But a lot you never know. Like you never know until it goes to court and they start, for like I said, like in the Morphew case, if you read the court records through court the whole way, you see that they put holes in a lot of evidence. Like for instance, they had phone pings and they said, oh, he was running around and that's why the phone pings were like that. But then the expert who did the phone pings for them literally emailed them and said, hey, this might just be static drift. Like it's not, it's not set in stone. It could be caused from static drift. And they didn't share that in court, and it got brought out later in a lot of their evidence that they claim. But I think that's a way different case than this. But I'm just saying, like, in court, a lot of things can change. But I think this case is way different than that. But good question, Wilhelm. I don't know. Yeah, Morphew had no body too. So like I said, I don't think that it's a very different case. This case has 4 bodies. So I definitely, like, in my opinion, I think they have more DNA evidence. I think they will. like now that they have his car, I think they'll find more. That's just my opinion. But I'm just comparing as in like, you know, when things go to court, things change. You know what I mean? Like they motions and but I don't feel I feel like the investigators in the Morphew case, well, not the investigators, but what's her name? Linda Stanley and some of the investigators in here are way different. I think these people are super professional and very good at what they do. And I think they have a lot of evidence that we don't know about. And I think they are probably going to have more DNA evidence. I just can't imagine that they don't with the mess that he made there. Like, I'll be very shocked if they don't have blood or something, especially if they had defensive wounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just be really shocked if they don't have more DNA evidence. And the guy seemed very stupid. Like, he just made a lot of mistakes. So I just, I'm sure there was more. I heard he was cleaning his car too, but I have no proof of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, heels in the air. I agree. They were definitely bowing to public pressure. I think Linda Stanley wanted to. I compare a lot of stuff to Morphew because that's like my favorite case ever because I just thought it was so interesting. Like how everything went down and really how things like a lot of things changed for me when it went to court. I was like, oh my God, I like my whole outlook on it changed. So I use that like to compare when we're talking about court and stuff, even though it's a completely different case, but I can't stand Linda Stanley. And I think she wanted to make a big scene of it. And she literally let everybody know she was going to be there. Like they were going to arrest him. She had all the people show up, Dateline, everyone was there. And she did it on Mother's Day and it was way too early and they screwed it all up. But I like to use that as a comparison because that case is like my shiz. You know what I mean? But yeah, I heard he cleaned his car too, or that he got it detailed maybe or something like that. Throwing trash away at the neighbors. But I'll just be really shocked if they don't have more evidence. They got that like. There's no way. I mean, if they don't, yeah, that case exactly heals in the air. And I get so angry when people are like, it's been a month, the case is going cold. Like a month is nothing. You know what I mean? Like a month is early. And I'm like, everyone's like, oh, it's going cold, it's going cold. I'm like, no, it's not. This is early. There's 4 victims. This is very early in the case. And it just infuriates me when people try and like pressure cops and rush them. I do have the Barry button. It can be activated at any time. Yeah, it's definitely one of those cases that and standing with your bullhorn isn't helping either, right? And I think they totally screwed up that case. And I personally don't think they have any idea where she is. I think that was a total lie too. All right, so here's a guy explaining a fixed blade knife. And he said the way I'm guessing they could tell was by the impressions or bruising around the stab wounds that showed the outline of the knife guard on the knife, which I would assume too that's how they would know. And Papa Roger says, I disagree. If stabbing motions were hard, the guard, or no, he said you wouldn't be able to tell that at the crime scene, which I think is, I don't believe that. She ordered Jack in the Box. True Green Beard. Oh yeah, AK is super dedicated to the Morphew case. Like very dedicated. If anyone will solve it, AK probably will. Yes, I am, Bob, but thanks for asking. Yeah, ground up. I know, 30 plus years and getting nothing is poor family. One day we're going to do it, I promise, ground up. There's every time I plan to do that, like, always something breaks and then I get distracted. And there's a bag with that in crime photos.
Yeah, I have
All right, so Papa Roger said they don't clean bodies at a crime scene. The amount of blood must have been tremendous. Yeah, but that's super vague. Everybody thought there was a lot of blood. But the police were very specific about the type of knife used. I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything that's like, oh, it's the killer. I think this is a lot of stuff people were speculating about already, but I can see why people think that. But I'm not sold on that guy being the killer for me yet, Like, I feel like for them to be super specific about the K-bar, he's right. They probably, it's more likely there's a lot of fixed blade knives that are similar to K-bar knives. So for them to be super specific about a K-bar knife, then, maybe like a sheath was left behind. True Greenbeard, I have definitely eaten things at 4 a.m. when I was drunk. For sure. I've done a lot of 4 a.m. eating. Hey, Irvin, where the reptiles at? They're away right now, but I don't have any on me. They're all sleeping. Oh, there's a lot of times I eat at 4 a.m. If I'm up real late and then I get hungry in the middle of the night and I go get some snacks. But I'm a late nighter. Like, I'm a night person, so, They are very specific about the weapon, but very vague about every other detail. They're looking for a very specific knife. Curious, why are you debating the sheath theory so hard? And the guy says, because who would carry a sheath? Which is a dumb question. If you have a knife, why wouldn't you carry a sheath if it had one? But I get it. Like, if you have like a pocket knife or something. But if it's a fixed blade knife, I don't know. Does anyone carry around a fixed blade knife? Like a large fixed blade knife without a sheath? That's a big knife. Just like carry around in your pocket without a sheath. And then he said, well, who would carry a large exposed knife? I think that's pretty, I don't know, that makes sense to me. Yeah, nothing. Oh, drunk breakfast is the bomb. Hey, that girl. All right, sounds good. Yeah, drunk breakfast is probably the best meal ever. I'm a breakfast person though. I love me some breakfast. Like, I could eat breakfast morning, noon, and night. I could also eat steak morning, noon, and night too, but I do love breakfast. Isn't T Rev and Papa Roach his OT? What's OT? Yes, breakfast is awesome. T Rev's the guy that he supposedly they thought the killer called into. I don't think that was the killer though. But the killer's friend said it did sound like him. Yes, breakfast is so good anytime. Oh my gosh. Especially like a really good breakfast sandwich, but it has to be with the sausage like links cut in half, not the patties. It's so much better when they have the sausage links. You carry a replica Nessmuck knife. Okay, do you wear a sheath on it or just carry it like that? Oh, biscuits and gravy. That sounds banging too. Now you're making me hungry, but I do love what's it called? Sausage gravy and biscuits. Oh, that's slamming. I would kill like 12 of those Jack in the Box tacos if they're being out all night, right? I used to love brunch before my job closed down. I used to get brunch near like where I used to work, and they'd have eggs Benedict, like it was like or not eggs Benedict. All right, so it was a waffle with fried chicken on it, and then a poached egg, and then Hollandaise sauce mixed with hot sauce poured all over it, and then the waffles were like soaked in syrup, and it was so good. Oh my gosh, slamming. Much love for a drunk breakfast. Yes, somebody send me drunk breakfast. I need it tonight. So, I'm gonna go and get breakfast after this if I can find it anywhere. Yeah, eggs Benedict is good though. Hollandaise sauce is good. It was so good with the fried chicken and waffles. Yeah, it was delicious. It sounded so good. Thumb Thug actually made it one night for dinner. Heart attack waiting to happen. Do you see me? I'm 5'2" and 110 pounds soaking wet, so I could eat like 10 of them heart attack waiting to happen and nothing happened to me, sadly. I wish. I'm working on trying to get a big butt here. It's just not happening. Bottomless mimosas. Oh, yeah, for brunch, yeah. Now y'all are making me hungry. So a knife-wielding person walked from where and entered the house at what point with a large knife in hand? Well, from his car. If a knife is sharp, it's dangerous without a sheath. It will cut you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, good, ground up. That's exciting. We'll have to check out. Let me know when you start putting up content so we can check it out. Do you carry a knife? He said. And then the guy said, dude, give it a rest. You sound like a psycho. And he said, remember I made the original post and you have gone down this path. I don't see why people think this guy's the killer. I think he's asking good questions and reasonable questions that aren't very killer questions. I don't know. Hey, Lindy, yes. I mean, I get why people go there, but I think the stuff he's talking about is reasonable theory, like he's coming to theories reasonably, and there was a lot of talk of that, so. All right, Paparazzo. The date of the killing was chosen on purpose. Thoughts? It is kind of weird though. Like his questions come off very survey-ish. I'll give that. Like they're very similar to his like survey. You know what I mean? 4 weeks in and no suspects. What is the motive? How long do we think the killer was in the house? What do we think is the height and weight of the killer? Regardless of what has been released, I believe this is a sexually motivated crime. Did the killer drive, walk, or some combination of both to the scene? A knife is a very risky weapon. If you know you're going to murder 4 people, do we think the killer also had another weapon, such as a stun gun? The killer has a sexual dysfunction. Thoughts? Why did the killer choose the house over all the others in the area? How did the killer leave the scene? Did he clean up? How did you leave the scene before leaving? Is there anything else you did? Yeah, I can see that his questions come off as like the survey questions. But on your belt, you would have to lose your pants to lose the sheath. Yeah, but isn't that where the little snap is? Maybe that's why his DNA... Big butts are a dumb fat. I know, I was joking, but... I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was a little bigger. Where was I? But though I'm saying, like, isn't that what the little button is for? If he did pull the button off, like, wouldn't that is how it disconnect it? You know what I mean? Like, that's why it would be on there. like it's connected through that little button clasp to your jeans or your like loop or whatever the hell it is, whatever you connect it to. I don't carry knives every day, so I don't know. This is a discussion of the case. You are participating by choice. I will say that is something that drives me crazy. When people join a true crime discussion group and you're in like a discussion and then somebody comes in and is like, you shouldn't talk about this. It's not like, then why are you coming in a discussion group and trying to stop the discussion and telling people not to discuss stuff? Like, go in a justice group. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't join a discussion group if you're going to complain about people discussing things in there. That drives me crazy. Like, that's the whole point of a case discussion group, is to discuss. Unless it's like super disrespectful, I get that. But there's so many people who come in and like won't like don't want you to talk about anything. It's like, you're in the wrong place, bud. This is definitely a discussion group. Thoughts on this body placement? Well, he's wrong about this. Look. They said Xana was on the floor. And he said Xana's here. Ethan's here. But maybe, well, it's wrong, you know. It's wrong body placement. That's wrong. Google Trends show the search history for the house by date. Lots of Thursday activity. What do we think? That the killer was searching the house, maybe? Day 39. The killer is not in the victim's immediate circle. The killer is not a student. Thoughts? I mean, unless he was trying to purposely put something. I mean, like, he might have purposely been trying to put the wrong answers, but still. I don't know that I... Hold on a second, guys. But still. It's weird. My chat isn't updating on StreamYard. I have to look on YouTube. All right, sorry. Let me put this so I can see it. StreamYard just stopped like working for me. Maybe the sheath came off during the struggle. Maybe. Most people wear the sheath on their belt. Typically, you don't carry around a knife in a sheath unless you have a sheath on your belt. Well, thank you, Jeremiah. I know Jeremiah's a sub. He's always here. Well, most of the time. Time for a fresh glass of Moscato. I know, I'm still sipping on the same one because I've been talking so much. I don't know if I can do another glass, though. I'm a lightweight. I'm definitely a drinking lightweight for sure. Also, on both December 8th and 13th, he posted, white car is irrelevant. He was obviously feeling the heat. Yeah, maybe. Weird for a vegan to be carrying leather. All right, read at William. The marine sheaths are meant to go around forward and back. It's a tough piece of kit to break off. Gotcha. Well, it said it had like a button on it, so I'm thinking maybe he just unhooked the button. No. All right. Killer is not a student. Thoughts? Well, he was a student, so I mean, he could be trying to throw people off by throwing in some like wrong things here and there, you know. I feel like the white car isn't relevant. Fight me. Ellie is no closer to solving this than they were 30 days ago. Papa Roger is wiped from Facebook, so we just deleted his thing. I don't think it was one of the apps that made him look like a cartoon, to be honest. That was actually a Chinese painting, I heard. Somebody found, like, I guess reverse searched it and found the painting, and it's like a Chinese painting. Gotta have one more to make that drunk breakfast count, right? Here's Elliot Roger, the misogynist killer who became an incel hero, which this guy is true. I think he ran over someone with a car. I don't know the whole story, but a lot of incels, like, worship this dude. His target was beautiful sorority girls from Alpha Phi. Sound familiar? Should we look him up? I don't know his story. Let's look him up real quick. I think he ran somebody over. He's accused of murdering 10 people, but his post on Facebook has drawn new attention to a mass murder whose crimes inspired a dubious following. The incel rebellion has begun. He killed 6 people in a stabbing and a shooting spree in Isla Vista, California, before he turned the gun on himself. 22-year-old posted a retribution video to YouTube and emailed a lengthy autobiographical document. My God, why can't I say it? To almost 24 people he knew, an online community known as the involuntary celibate, or incels, who blame women for sexual failings, fastened upon the document. Never mind. Hey, Georgia Peach, how you doing, girl? 3 people in his apartment. He killed 10 people. The button is on the little flap. Oh, okay. I got it. That makes sense. So why was the sheath... Then it... Alright, so for the sheath to be left, it sounds like to me that either he just was holding it in the sheath, or he wanted it to be there. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted it to be found there. He shot up Isla Vista. It's basically a rental neighborhood for Greeks and UCSB students. Oh, wow. Basically, one road in and one road out. No shit. What a psychopath. He said on a video he posted to YouTube, he sat in his BMW car his family had given him and complained about being a virgin at 22, saying he had never even kissed a girl. In the document, he described himself as being the ideal, magnificent gentleman and could not comprehend why women would not want to have sex with him. He planned his murderous rampage as a day of retribution and said he had no choice but to exact revenge on the society that had denied him sex and love. Roger specified that he planned to target Alpha Phi sorority, whose members had deemed the hottest at his college, the kind of girls I've always desired but was never able to have. He shot and killed Catherine Cooper and Veronica Weiss, members of another sorority outside the Alpha Phi house. He also stabbed to death 3 young men, Cheng Wan Hong, Wei-Han Wang, and George Chen, and injured 14 when he traveled around firing at random in his car and fatally shot Christopher Michaels Martinez. In the final section of the manifesto, Roger declared, "I am the true victim in all this. I am the good guy." And now supposedly, like, the incel community worships this guy. Oh man, I can't get into all this. Or a cheap belt and it broke. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe he carried the sheath in his pocket like a dummy. Yeah, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who carries knives around on a regular basis. You know what I mean? He doesn't really. Or yes, maybe. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe he was in all black sweats or like an all black outfit that didn't have a way to put it in a belt. Yeah, there is a lot of similarities to Elliot Roger for sure. What college did Elliot Roger shoot up, or what college did the Idaho stuff happen at? The college that he was at, Elliot Roger, was I don't know what it just says in Isla Vista, California, which is a college area. You want to know UCSB? Okay. Okay, back to this. That isn't a bedroom light. It looks like the hall light. It could be the hallway light and the third floor or bathroom light. Oh, shoot. I lost my damn place. I mean, I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on this guy. Maybe less than 50-50, but I mean, there's definitely some weird stuff, but I'm not like, oh yeah, it's definitely this dude, you know? Who's my favorite spree killer? I have no favorite spree killers. Like, serial. Well, I mean, who do I find most interesting? Like spree killer, like serial killer. I don't know that I really have like a specific. I find there's serial killers I find interesting. I don't know about spree killers though. Like I never really thought about that. On a killing spree. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. All right, we're around here. Okay, here we go. I mean, look, he makes a good point though. Bath, hall, bed. I mean, this isn't like the perfect supreme gentleman. The date of the killing was chosen on purpose. Thoughts? That's an interesting question. Never thought that. 11-13. I wonder if there's a connection there. I'll have to look into that. All right. Well, that's all about Papa Roger. What's this? Oh, we did that already. That's all the Papa Roger stuff. I was gonna play the interviews with Steve Gonsalves and the parents, but I might just explain them because it's already been like 2 hours and 15 minutes. But Steve Gonsalves and Chrissy, I think the mom's name is, they were on what were they on? Fox News maybe. And the dad said that Dylan did have a conversation with him, I believe, at the celebration of life. I don't think it was like a full conversation. She just like went up to him and talked to him. And he said she didn't talk to him like somebody, like he didn't think she had done anything, and that there's a lot more to the story that we will find out, and that of course he does have questions, I guess, as to why like she took so long to call 911. It sounded like he was implying, but that he doesn't think she's involved or anything like that. And he said a lot more stuff will come out and that she's like a victim. He said they didn't know about a lot of the stuff. I think he said he didn't even know about the sheath, and they had just found that out. If he's innocent, that would be the most unexpected twist. Yeah. Amityville was 11/13. Oh, interesting, Mystic. I didn't know that. This case is top level crazy. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's up there. I feel like this is like, like our time Ted Bundy type, even though it's not a serial killer, which I'm sure back then, can you imagine being alive during the Ted Bundy stuff and like serial killers and all these people dying and being connected? I wonder if they knew that a serial killer was going around before, like, if they put that together later, or at the time if they knew he was a serial killer. Like if everybody in America knew he was a serial killer and were like looking out for him. Oh my god, Nitch. Or if it was all put together later and it was shocking to everyone. But I can't imagine, like that was a crazy story. Or Dahmer. Yeah. I have watched Making a Murder. It's been a long time. I'll have to like revisit that whole series. But I did watch. I didn't watch every one. I think I watched the first two and then never, like, I don't know why I didn't go back and watch the other one. What about that family massacre with those brothers? Oh, the Pike County massacre? The one that they just had a case for, or a court trial for? George Wagner, the one brother who was on trial, was found guilty on all charges, which totally shocked me because I wasn't expecting that. I thought there was a lot of reasonable doubt in that case, and I thought the prosecutor did a really bad job, although I did think he was guilty. So I was pleased to hear that, although I thought there was a lot of reasonable doubt. My mother taught the child of Stephen Brian Pennell while he was caught in Delaware. Oh, wow. Amityville was 112 and IDAHO4 was 1122. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious to figure out why he chose those girls. Oh, yeah, Daybell and Valo is coming up if she's not deemed incompetent for like the billionth time. Also, I'm like so itchy for some reason. Murdaugh is coming up, and Murdaugh is going to be crazy, in my opinion. I just feel like there's so many layers in Murdaugh and so many deaths within deaths within deaths that I feel like Valo and Murdaugh are going to be so good. And Murdaugh's happening in like 10 days. I think it's something crazy like that. So we will definitely be diving into Murdaugh. I totally forgot about that, but I think it's like 10 days, maybe even less than that. Murdaugh's coming up. And if you don't know what the Murdaugh case is, it's that really rich family in South Carolina who like ran the town and were prosecutors of the town for like generations. And the dad was got in all this financial trouble and was on drugs and stuff like that. And his son got into a boat accident and killed some girl. And because of it, they were going to go like look into the dad's financials and stuff. And he panicked and allegedly killed his family. Yeah, they ran the whole state, basically. Yep, you're right, Georgia Peach. I was feeding the lizards before I came on here. That might be why. I'm not blowing up like usual, but that might be why. Yeah, she was into true crime and her sisters were as well. Who was? Oh, yeah, Kaylee was into true crime. I think she actually followed Chronicles of Olivia on TikTok. But yeah, she was into true crime for sure. Get me some PPE? What's PPE? It's only like, it's it's either from like I always get it from like either the bugs or from the bugs, the bee pollen, or what's that stuff? Rapashi. It's made with. I'm not itchy like Benadryl itchy. I just keep getting like little like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I didn't see pictures Olivia posted today. Let me look. What were they? Let me peek. It was like a community post? Oh. Fortunately, I couldn't. Would he interview her family? Aw. So he must have interviewed her family then. That's cute. Here, let me show you guys. Sorry, dude's cursing in the background. He's playing COD or something. You just heard an F-bomb. Oh, wait. I'm not showing my screen anymore. Duh. Hold on. I'm showing nobody. Not that. Where's my StreamYard? There we go. I guess that's like her as a little baby skiing with her dad. Aw. That's a sin. Yeah, right, Ground Up? Yeah, we'll message me and we'll plan to do it soon so I don't forget. Oh, Betty did an interview? Ugh. That ruins it for me. Hey, Pam. That ruins it for me. I don't mind Olivia. I think Olivia needs to go out on her own and get away from them. She's too good for them. You know what I mean? I just, I think she does great work, and I just think she needs to move on from them. Yeah, she does resemble her mom. You can see she has her dad's like nose, but she has her mom's like eyes and like lips or something. But she definitely resembles her mom. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end it. I've been on for 2 hours and 22 minutes, so I feel like it's like a good lock time to end the stream. But you guys, do you want to maybe this week we'll do the Springfield 3? Sure, Matt. I'll play something. I'll game with y'all. Oh, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to have a game night in Discord one night with my subs. If you're not in my Discord, join my Discord and we'll plan it. But they have a bunch of like fun games like Cards Against Humanity and stuff like that we could play. And I just thought it'd be really fun. So, all right, we'll get off COD and play something else. I'll tell them. But I just think it'd be so fun if we can all have a game night. So we can do that. And then maybe this week I'll try and do Springfield 3. And then maybe we can do Ground Ups 2. But I just feel like I need a little break from Idaho, just a little break. Or just talk about another case that's interesting and visit it. And then we'll go back to Idaho. But I need need to talk about something other than that because I feel like I just keep revisiting the same theories over and over and over again. So you're behind in chat. Yeah, right? We all may need that break, please. Yeah, so what's today? Today's Saturday. Either tomorrow or Monday, I'll shoot for a Springfield 3. So, yeah, we need a break for sure. I feel like my brain is spinning. Oh, there's a mother who disappeared on New Year's Eve and mysteriously her house burned down. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, and it ties into ground up. So that's a great idea. Maybe we can tie them all in together, ground up. Like I could do Springfield 3 and then we can go into yours. That would be a great idea because the guy who killed the Springfield 3 is potentially a suspect in ground up's cousin's murder. Or it'd be your cousins, right? So yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Maybe I'll try and do a little pre-record that gives a little, like I did with John Bonet, that gives a little, if I have time, because 8-minute pre-records take 2 hours for me to do. It literally takes me 2 hours to make an 8-minute pre-record, unless I just sit here at the desk and just explain it. But whose court date is that, Cheryl? All right, I will ground up. Thanks, Diane. Thanks. I curled it and then just, did this to it and made it all messy. Anna Walsh. Yeah, I could show Anna Walsh real quick. Is that the person who... I can show it. What is it? Anna... All right. Real quick. I'll do this real quick before I go. Missing Cohasset woman. Timeline of Anna Walsh's movements before disappearance. Real quick before I go. I know everyone's saying bye. A bunch of people probably left already. Sorry, guys. There are 72 unaccounted for hours between the time Anna Walsh reportedly left her Massachusetts home and when she reported missing, with very little details about her whereabouts in between. Walsh, 39, of Cohasset, Massachusetts, left her home on January 1st, supposed to get a ride share to Logan International Airport in Boston and fly to her job in Washington, D.C. The Cohasset Police Chief William Quigley told reporters there's no confirmation that she physically took the rideshare to the airport, but it could have been done off the books, according to the chief. So, the guy could have just accepted money, I guess, without putting it into the system. Police confirmed she never boarded the flight, and the multi-jurisdiction search continued into the weekend. Meanwhile, Cohasset detectives headed to D.C. to follow up on potential leads and conduct interviews alongside D.C.'s Metropolitan Police Department. So wait, her house burnt down? Is she married? She is gorgeous. So she commutes from Massachusetts to Washington each week to work at a real estate job. She must make a lot of money doing that because that's a pretty big commute. She left her Cohasset home early morning on New Year's Day, most likely between 4 and 5 a.m. while her family was sleeping. There's no video or images of her leaving, and security cameras haven't picked up images of her as of Saturday afternoon. So sounds like she never left the house. So did her husband burn the house down to get rid of evidence? Her plan was to take a rideshare to the airport for a flight to Washington, D.C., where she worked for a real estate company, Tishman Speyer. Walsh's flight to D.C. was originally booked for January 3rd, but police said during a press conference earlier this week that she left earlier for some type of emergency work. There's no evidence that Walsh boarded any flight or made it to the airport. She's very pretty. They searched the property, the backyard, the pool, and the surrounding areas. Her husband and her employer reported her missing to Cohasset Police. Walsh's husband, her employer, and her friends have been cooperative in what Quigley described as a missing person case that currently has no evidence of foul play. So there's no evidence of foul play. That's interesting. They teamed up with outside agencies. So how is there no evidence of foul play when her They teamed up with outside agencies, including Massachusetts State Police, to search a wooded area near Walsh's home and set up a staging area along Route 3A. A 2-alarm fire broke out in Walsh's former home at 725 Jerusalem Road in Cohasset. All 4 occupants, 3 adults, and a young child. Her former home. So, did the people in the former home, are they related to her? The cause of the fire is undetermined at this time and remains under investigation. Although it does not appear to be suspicious, they said. Look at that house. Oh, this house is still cute too. It's got a little... Every hour, they're getting more concerned for their well-being so that they don't see any foul play. Oh, she's about my size. She's 5'2". That's how tall I am. And 115 pounds. She speaks with an Eastern Europe accent. Well, yeah, right. Well, it said she had cameras, but they didn't pick her up on leave. They didn't pick her up leaving them. Like leaving on them. But they said there's no evidence of foul play, so I don't know. It's weird. Well, we'll definitely keep up on that. All right, I'm gonna try and shoot for tomorrow because it's Sunday night. But if not, is that pimples on what? What butt? You don't know much about him. Gotcha. Yeah, it was her former house burnt down, not her house. Her former house. And they don't believe there's a connection. But yeah, I'm going to try and be back tomorrow to do Springfield 3, but if not, Monday. I always say I'm going to try and be back the next day, and then... oh, I don't know. I didn't even look. I always say I'm going to be back the next day, and then, something will happen. So that's why I always try and say, if not the next day, it's the day after. I usually try and only make one night, like, a day in between, if anything. But I'll try and be back tomorrow. And I want to have a game night. So, what about like Wednesday night or something? Homework, right? Yes. So Wednesday night, we're playing a game, guys. Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. I'm calling it. Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, we're gaming. Yes, and you have homework. You have to look into the Springfield 3, because that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. Well, good night, everyone. I'm going to go get some breakfast or something. I'm going to try and find some breakfast. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. And it's always fun. And don't forget, Wednesday in Discord. I'm summoning you all to have a game night with me, and you don't have any choices. You're welcome. Bye, guys. Yes, Springfield 3 either tomorrow or Monday. Good night. No, don't leave.